Trump has imposed a 104% tariff on China. What does that mean for business owners, and what does that mean for consumers? Let's get into it right now. It's about to be a 104% tariff on China. So anything that's coming from China, all of those goods that are coming from China are about to be taxed 104%. So, I mean, if you think about it, yes, it could be detrimental to the economy for sure. But one thing that I will say is that this is a game that Trump is playing. And, you know, I don't like to talk about politics on this channel right here, but this is a game that he's playing to make sure that we have the upper hand as Americans. It may seem like it's going to be harsh on people. And, you know, I mean, who don't want to buy something for $1 off Temu and get it delivered in like a week or two? And hey, big smile on my face, right? But if it's 104% tariff, okay, well, that's $2, a little bit over $2, okay? So at the end of the day, yes, Chinese products are cheap, but we have to pay that tariff for now, okay? So as far as the consumers go, and we're just gonna keep it 100, everything that you purchase, especially on Amazon, is made in China. There are people in America that are selling the goods and rebranding these goods as if it is theirs, but at the end of the day, these products are manufactured in China. What Trump is doing is he's not trying to crush their economy, but he's trying to tell China and the rest of the world, like, hey, we're done being played with. And that's just what it is. Like, we have been taxed for so many decades that when we wake up, it's just normal to us. When we wake up and we go to work, and on Friday when we get paid, we're used to seeing Uncle Sam taking that big old chunk of money out of our checks, and we don't even think twice about it. Yes, it's gonna be a rough ride at the beginning, but I do believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Let's check out the business owners' reactions and let's see how they respond to this 104% tariff on China. I have a lot to talk about as far as that situation goes. Let's get right into it.
Clothing prices are definitely going to go up, but what people may not realize is that there will be a significant increase in the price of footwear. More than 60% of all footwear comes from China and Vietnam. And so we're looking at tariff prices that may be as high as 50% for products from Vietnam. That doesn't necessarily mean that a $100 pair of sneakers is now going to be $150 for you, but it will be in terms of the price that the imported that we're getting for the import.
Clothes, shoes, cars, be thinking about all those. Absolutely. What about electronics?
Electronic smartphones prices are going to go up. The top line iPhone could go from $1,600 to $2,300, according to some of the analysts that we're looking at, as much of a 40% jump in the price of an iPhone. So that's something to keep your eye on. But it's not only that, it's also computers, it's also laptops, video consoles, all of that.
Okay, and then finally, if you're out, you're trying to have a good time, you're going out to eat, it's already expensive to go out to eat. But if you kind of want to knock the edge off a little bit, our top story viewers do sometimes, you want to have a drink, you want to order a beer, glass of wine, you got to be mindful, right?
Got to be mindful. And so a lot of people think if it's American made, it's going to be great, I'll save money there at least. Not necessarily. The cork, the bottle, so many parts of what go into, say, the wine industry are imported. So that could also have prices, even for American winemakers, to go up.
A lot of things are going to go up, but this is what I want to tell you, the person that's watching this video. Yo ass probably got enough sneakers. You got enough of everything that you need. You don't need to go out there and buy a new phone when it drops. You don't need to do that. Hold on to your money. If you're not investing your money, don't just go out there and just spend frivolously. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this time. She's talking about, okay, shoes are gonna go up. They're $80. They could be $150. I mean, listen, my people, y'all buy Jordans all day long. Okay? Now, if that price go up, if those J's go up, y'all still gonna be going out there to buy it. But at the end of the day, this is a sign that should tell you, hey, hold on to your money. All of this stuff right here that she's pointing out, this is nothing but wants. Shoes, liquor. When we get back to the basics, like how our grandparents used to live, they lived off of the necessities. They didn't need shoes. And I'm not saying like they walked around barefoot, but what I'm saying is they didn't have a whole closet full of shoes. No, they had this pair of shoes for church, this pair of shoes for work, and this pair of shoes for being around the house. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So we might have to revert back to that. Let's check out what the actual entrepreneurs are saying about this tariff being put in place and how it's going to affect their business.
I feel like the past 24 hours has just been a complete nightmare. 104% on imports coming from China. 104%. And that means my small business that I put everything into is fucking done. I quit my corporate job about a year and a half ago to chase my dreams. I designed and launched a kids fitness brand, and it was going great. I paid fair wages, I built relationships, and then overnight, the cost just more than doubled. My margins were gone. You know, my business doesn't pay for a yacht or a private jet. It pays for our daughter's swim classes. It covers groceries. It helps with babysitters for date nights. This isn't just numbers on a policy sheet. It's real people, real jobs, real families, and now I'm back at square one. So wish me luck.
So you're looking at about 1,300 pounds or so of coffee beans, raw coffee beans from Honduras. And unless something gives, this right here is the last delivery before those coffee beans see a 10% increase due to these new tariffs.
Unfortunately, it just means that like your cup of coffee as a consumer and maybe your 12-ounce coffee bag you buy at a grocery store, it's going to be more expensive and we're all going to pay the price for it.
But here's the problem. The USDA forecasts will consume nearly 3 billion pounds of coffee beans. Yet only 1% of it can be sourced domestically.
And you don't need it. This is not a need.
Experts tell CNN there's simply no way we can just grow more coffee here in the United States. We have to import.
Everyone's just kind of like, what's going on right now? Like, this is kind of crazy, and we're all just sort of trying to figure it out together. It's definitely not helping Coffee Man or helping the coffee industry as a whole.
The Trump administration would argue that this is a good thing. So more things are made in America. Mm-hmm. What do you say to that?
That's nice in theory, except that coffee can't really be grown in America. So it's like, I wish they maybe had thought that through and there could be some exceptions for coffee.
Well, if there was exceptions for coffee, there should be exceptions for every single thing. But see, this is the issue. We have been making exceptions throughout the inception. You feel me? So ever since the beginning, especially since I've been alive, tariffs has been going on, and we have been getting the bad end of the stick. Americans, right? And these politicians, they come in, and like I said, this is not a political video, but I just want to let this be known. The politicians, they come in, they turn a blind eye, they get their check, and they keep going about their day, and they don't care about the American people. Why? Because when they first get into office, they making $30,000 a year, but by the time they leave and you look up how much they worth, oh, they worth millions of dollars. So why would they care about the American people? They came in, they did what they had to do to get their bag, right? So this is going to be a hard grunt to take in at first, but it's going to get better throughout time. No pain, no gain. You know, like we're looking at this day one. Yeah, of course we're going to be upset. I'm upset too. Everything is expensive. Of course I'm upset.
Hello, I am running to the post office right now. And I'm sitting in the car, and it's Arizona, it's hot, so I can't talk for very long. I'm dropping off Etsy packages, and I'm just feeling so bummed. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I think just like this tariff news, watching the stock market just go nuts yesterday, I just feel like my Etsy shop is gonna die. Like my Etsy shop's dead because I have to import some things like the needle minders that I custom make. It's my art, and then I have them produced in China because quite literally the machines that are used to produce them are illegal in the US. because they're the same machines that are used to create like our US currency. So like you cannot have them here. And so I have to have them imported, at least at the price point that like my customers will pay. What am I gonna do? I can't afford those anymore. Then all the DMC floss that I use for like all my cross stitch stuff, I sell like cross stitch patterns and other supplies and stuff, needle minders, needle cases, etc. in my shop. Yeah, a lot of that is imported, and I like what am I gonna do? Like, and I'm feeling so incredibly frustrated because I've just watched my sales like slow down over the last like 6 months, and they're down way, like year over year, they are way down from last year. And I feel like I spent so much energy and time trying to like explain to everyone in my life who chose to vote for Trump. I like tried to explain to them how this was going to affect me and like our family and our businesses. And like, it wasn't enough for them. They voted for whatever they thought was more important. And they all told me I was like overreacting and that it wasn't going to be a big deal. And like, now we're here. The one thing that makes me feel a little bit better is that like thank God I'm getting a degree right now. I'm getting a degree in data analytics, which will be a good pathway to like a stable job and good income, but not in time to replace the income that I'm losing from my shop basically just dying slowly and sadly. I just like, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I think anyone who's like in this same kind of sector that I'm in, like the hobby space, the space that is the first place that people stop spending money when like times get tough. I don't blame you, like I get it. I'm not buying as much either because I can't afford it either. But yeah, I just feel like really, I'm just so frustrated because it's also fucking preventable, you know? So yeah, if you're also watching your business die because of this, then like, hey, I'm here too. Like we're in this together. Let's suffer together. I am sorry you're here with me though.
Let's talk about how these tariffs are affecting my small business in real time. I design jewelry, but I get it all manufactured in China, but I design and own the intellectual property of everything. In February, I placed an order for $5,936.45 for 800 pairs of earrings. I think my tariff rate based on the materials I use and the product I sell is about 36%. If I had bought this order back in November when I placed my last order, the tariffs would be $2,137.12, but today in April, it's $7,420.56. So the total landing cost is almost double, and I'll be paying an extra $5,283.44 in tariffs. So I'm kind of in a unique situation. My big production order was actually split and shipped into 2 different shipments. We did that before we even knew that this was going to happen, and it shipped the day before April 5th, which means it's not going to incur the 105% tariff fees. But I will be paying significantly more on my second package because it shipped after April 5th. Another thing that's very particular to my business is that this production batch that's shipping in, they're all pre-orders and it's almost all sold out. It's not like I can just increase the price on these items. I'm just gonna be taking a financial hit. Basically, any retailer who's wholesaled from me in the past few months, they're going to be getting their items for free. Anyone who's ordered retail after I pay these tariffs is basically gonna be getting it for wholesale prices because of the way the margins work out. So my scissor earrings with the previous tariff situation, the landing cost was $1,206. With the new landing price with the 125% tariffs is $19.98. In order to maintain my same margins of 71.2%, the new retail price would have to be $69.37. But if the retail price stayed the same, the margins would be 52.4%. So for instance, my scissor earrings, they wholesale for $21 and the new landing price cost is $19.98. Yeah, not making much money there. The mini claw clips are $28. The landing price was $626. The new landing price with the new tariffs would be $10.
At the end of the day, you just gonna have to raise the price. Now, as far as you doing the that drop or whatever the case may be, you know, you stuck in between a rock and a hard place right there. You're just gonna have to take the hit because the price is the price. So, hey, if you make $100 off of that, I mean, you still made a profit. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to weigh out the good and the bad. You have to figure out, hey, is this something that I still want to do knowing that these tariffs are in place? And so for people who have the mindset of giving up quickly, this will give them the extra juice to just go ahead and quit, to just go ahead and stop and say, you know what, with these tariffs in place, I'm not going to make a profit. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You already have a negative mindset. You're not going to be successful. That's just my 2 cents on it. My thing is if the tariffs go up and everybody knows that the tariffs are up, I mean, you have to increase the price. That's just what it is. I mean, continue doing your business. Don't trip about it. You know, it is what it is. You may not get a lot of sellers like how you was before, but you're still moving. You're still bringing in some money. You don't have as many customers as you used to because of the price, but it's okay. It's okay. You still gonna have those regulars that's gonna stop by. Hey, stop by the website, put in a order. Okay, I support you for sure, but I love your products, and that's just what it is. If you are giving them quality products, it doesn't matter if the tariffs go up. One thing that I do see, especially in the e-commerce business, is that the profit margins are ridiculous, right? So let's say there's a product for, let's say you bought it for $10. You're selling it for $100. Okay, well, the tariff is 104% extra. So now you're paying $22, $24 on this product, but the price is still $100. You can't trip on that. Just eat it up. Give the customer what they want for that price, for that $100, and you just take that little loss. But you have to outweigh, or you might just want to find another product. That's just all it is.
So last night we closed our US website, so we're not accepting orders from the USA at the moment. Hopefully this is just temporary, but it was something, like, it was a really hard decision to make, but it was one that I just had to make. When tariffs went over 100% on Chinese made goods into the US yesterday, I was like, well, literally we can't make any money. So we make our product in China, so it's full of bust swimwear. It's like basically like a bra. It's got underwire, power mesh. We do 66 bra sizes. It's like really, really technical and really good quality. And I have not been able to find anyone else that has the expertise to make it to this standard, let alone make it, to be honest. Like, no one wants to do underwire swimwear. Like, it's way too complicated. And it's not super efficient on a production line. But like, we've got our supplier who we've got a really good relationship in China. They're so good. They're like the experts. And so our goods are made there. Then we send them to Australia. And then they stay at our warehouse in Melbourne, Australia. And that's where we ship our orders from. So when we're sending bikinis to our US customers, we have to declare that they're made in China. So once they get to the US, if tariffs are over 100%, if we're paying the duties, like we're covering that cost, we're having to pay. So if a bikini top is $100, it gets to the US and tariffs are, say, 105%. We have to pay $105 to the US government. So literally we just wiped all our revenue. Like, it's just, so yesterday I just had to make that call. I was like, well, it's a no-brainer. I'm turning off.
Find another supplier. There are plenty of other suppliers in different countries, okay, that you can find. We know that China does make quality products now, and that's just what it is. See, 20 years ago, when you got something that said made in China, you didn't even want to touch it, bro. That's made in China. Absolutely not. I do not want that. Get that out of my face. I do not want that in my house. But now everything that we get is literally made from China. I mean, manufacturing, all of that stuff needs to happen in America in order to make America great. We have to do what we have to do in order to, you know what I'm saying, make sure the next generation is good. That's just what it is at the end of the day. Let's see what she got to say about these tariffs.
Some transparency around the tariffs and how they affect small businesses like mine. I'm sure you have all heard by now the increased tariffs that are happening under the current administration. And I just want to share how not only it affects businesses like mine, but collectively what we can do as a community about it. We are so close to launching. Our formulas are done. We have a go-to-market plan, but we are waiting for our packaging to come from overseas. And for full transparency, the cost the lowest quote that I've gotten to get the product or the packaging stateside is more than what I paid for the packaging. So as you can imagine, not a good thing. We don't plan to increase our prices, which we haven't released yet. But I wanted to share because I just think that as consumers, we need to have more informed decisions around the brands that we support. And when you are supporting a small business during this time, you are literally helping people with their actual livelihood. whereas these conglomerates, where they are even increasing their prices, you are just lining shareholders' pockets. And so there's just a really big difference right now when you're supporting, again, these big conglomerates versus small businesses like myself.
She made a good point. When you're out here supporting like Nike and stuff like that, they're not worried about the tariffs. They got products being made in China all over the world. They're not tripping about the tariffs, and they're still going to add the tax just because it was put out. You know what I'm saying, that the tariffs are here or whatever the case. They're gonna put an increase on their products regardless if it came from China or not, because hey, that's how they move, and that's a marketing scheme for them. She's doing right because she's not increasing the price of her products. Now, I do understand if you do have to increase the price of your products slightly or whatever, just to, you know what I'm saying, compensate for that tariff, but your profit shouldn't be that crazy anyways. But at the end of the day, those profits are crazy. The tariffs are here. We're either going to make something out of nothing, which means we're going to keep going. We're going to keep on being the businessmen and the businesswomen that we are. And we're going to strive. And we're going to keep on going through all of these issues. We're going to still be successful. We're not going to stop our business in the tracks just because of these tariffs. We're not going to do that. That's just what it is. We know at the end of the day that there is light at the end of the tunnel, okay? And when you selling these products, when you putting your name behind these products, there's a connection with you and your business and the consumer. You don't want to let your consumer down. We just have to tighten up a little bit. I'm gonna go back to the first video. She said, I quit my job. I quit my career job, X, Y, and Z, because the business took off, and that's great. Don't quit your day job for your business. And I'm not saying, hey, you don't believe in God, you're not gonna step out on faith, you're not gonna do this, that, and the third. No, that's exactly not what I'm saying. In a time like this, even though she did it a couple years ago, you still shouldn't quit your career. Don't quit your day job to go all in on your business. Okay, it's always good to have multiple streams of income. And so you have your business, you have your job. If something goes wrong with your business, you still have your job. Okay, and you can figure it out from there. You can take it from there and do what you will. But when you have no income coming in, then that's where the issue arises. To everyone out there, if you're thinking about starting a business, if you already got a business and you got your job or you have your career and you like, man, I really just want to quit, man, because you know what, this job, it's pissing me off. I'm getting heated out. Don't quit. Don't do it. Don't do it just yet. You know what I'm saying? If you got if you got a few million in the bank, if you got some millions sitting around, then do it. But other than that, don't even think about doing it, y'all. That's my time. These tariffs are here. Is nothing that we can do about it. Let me know what you think about this video. Has the tariffs affected you? If they have, let me know down below. Do you have a business? Let me know down below how you gonna navigate through this. Okay? We all a community. We need to talk about it. Till next time, y'all. Be smooth.